I'm getting ready to do my radio interviews from here at the Marriott Hotel. They walked me to the quietest place in the hotel and airport as possible, but then I saw a woman walking by, and she looked kind of official, so she hooked me up in this gorgeous executive suite room to do my interviews. How good is that? So I'm going to call into my first radio interview right now, and I'm going to get a little bit of it on tape. Here we go. Calling John Clemens on USA Radio Network. It's a national show. Duksta, the author of I Love You More, calling in for John Clemens. Thanks. Oops. Lose the earrings. Hi, John. This is Laura Duksta, the author of I Love You More. Very good. How are you? I am on a cell phone. I ended up having to take an unexpected flight today. Can you? All right. Laura Duksta, author of I Love You More, generating the conversation of love around the world. Okay, sorry about that. I Love You More was actually the answer to a prayer. One night I found myself praying for my sister, and something clearly answered me and said, "Your sister's fine, pray for your nephew." I thought that was a little strange, but as I began praying for my nephew, I did as I was told. The whole book for I Love You More flooded my entire being. It was really the experience of divine inspiration. Sure. Actually, when I was really young, maybe 7 or 8, I realized 2 important lessons. One, that we were all brothers and sisters, and that because of that we were meant to love one another. And I always felt that somehow I was meant to travel the world, meet my brothers and sisters, and spread the message of love. And I say, who knew that access to fulfilling on that would be through losing all my hair? At the age of 11, I got a disease called alopecia areata, which had me lose all of my long brown wavy hair. I became completely introverted and just miserable for many, many years. I wore wigs for 19 years and would never look at myself in a mirror without a wig on for 10 years. So it was really a process of learning to love myself and allowing others to love me. And I really believe that that experience had my heart open to a deeper sense of understanding and compassion and love for humanity. Well, I did learn those 2 important lessons that I said I learned back in my childhood were in Sunday school. I grew up Catholic, and then, like I said, the book was an answer to a prayer. And I really resonated. I resonated with what Jesus was teaching. I resonated with what St. Francis. I've always had an affinity and a love for St. Francis. And I used to walk the streets when I was a child singing "Love is in the air." And I know that sounds kind of strange, but I grew up by the ocean outside of Boston, and that was just, it was always in my heart and in my mind that one day I would do this. And now, through the gift of that prayer in this book, now I have another means or medium to generate that conversation of love around the world. Yeah, I think, as a child I just grasped it, and it was just so simple to me, and so I knew that I wanted to make that my life's mission. And I really believe that when people know they're loved, especially our children, then anything is possible. So it's this conversation or this context of fear that just continues to permeate our airways, our media, our homes. I mean, and blessedly, we live in such almost an easy place to live as compared to so many other places on the planet. I really can't even imagine what it's like for the children, here as well as all around the world. No, there isn't. One teacher of mine once asked us to take on a a 21-day challenge, she called it, and she said, don't complain for 21 days. And every time you feel like complaining, every time something goes wrong, you want to say, God, is that great? God, is that great? And it just shifts your perception. You can drive down the freeway and get angry, or you can say, well, maybe he was in a big hurry. God bless him, and send him on his way, and and keep him safe and the rest of the drivers safe. So we spend a lot of time, I think, losing our focus. We allow our focus to go to frustration or anger or, unfortunately hatred, when we have the choice to react how we want to. So I guess this holiday season we could ask your listeners to react with love. Well, that is our mission, is to generate the conversation of love around the world. And our book is a very simple message told between a mother and child. It actually begins from both sides and reads to the middle. So like love, it never ends. And there's two sides. It represents the two sides to love, the giving and receiving. And all that we can hope for is that it will be embraced inside of families and classrooms, homes, where that conversation of love, sometimes that conversation is prevalent and this just gives an extra added boost to that. And then other times people have a harder time saying I love you. Our book says I love you probably 30 times over. And people are always really taken. They're like, oh, I'm really surprised my 18-month-old really loves your book. Or my 8-year-old still wants me to read, I love you more to them. But I don't think that you can sit down with your child or inside of a classroom or with your grandchild and say, I love you, I love you, I love you 30 times over and not have a really special energy and situation created. Yeah, I don't think that we understand how important our words are that we speak to ourselves and to others. That's one of the things that we cover in our school program that I feel is so important. And, we say, a lot of people say, oh, but my children know I love them. And you're right. Through our actions we show that. But often love is assumed. So we like to say that love should be talked about, shown, expressed, felt, shouted about, and just any way that you can take, 5 minutes out of the day extra to shower your children with love. And whether that's, through a prayer or a blessing, whether it's at mealtime or in the morning or in the evening. What we love about our book, I Love You More, is that it does become a game. Inside the book it says things like, I love you quieter than the quietest caterpillar ever creeped. I love you further than the furthest frog ever leaped. Well, then the children and the parents start coming up with their own responses. So I love you more than all the sand on the beach or all the stars in the sky. And so we figure if you're going to argue about something at home, you might as well argue about who loves who more. Thank you, John. Have a bright and blessed lifetime. All right, excellent. Thank you. Take care. Bye. Excellent. He was a little worried about the cell phone, but he said it pulled it off and that it went really well. So, there we are, back in our super studio. Ha ha ha, how great is this? It might not be quite the Mandalay that my friend Sandy was in. Oh, look at those beautiful birds of paradise. I think they must be fake, but they're totally gorgeous. But, so my mastermind partner will be proud of me because Sandy pulled this off at the Mandalay, or not the Mandalay, yeah, maybe the Mandalay in Vegas. So, very cool. I'm feeling our power. Bye.